It could take a while. We'll likely have to wait to learn the outcome of some close races here. Let's talk more about this by welcoming Robb Korinke, political strategist and editor with California Target Book to Mornings on 2. Thanks for being with us, Robb.
No, thanks for having me.
I remember in years past, presidential elections past, the races would be called a couple hours after dinner. You would have satisfaction that night. Do you expect that to be the case today?
Yeah, election night parties used to be fun. I don't think that we're going to get quite that satisfaction on election night. At 8 p.m. tonight, we'll get what we call the 801s. 8:01 p.m., we'll get the results of everyone who has voted up to today, the mail-in ballots and the in-person ballots that have been cast, and we expect that to be about 8 million votes. But if we're on pace with the last couple presidential elections, we've got 10 million more votes to go. Some of those will be divulged this evening, but likely we're in for a long, strange trip the next few weeks.
So you're saying weeks? You're going past several days?
I think it will be several days until we even know how many ballots are left. Wow. Probably on Wednesday or Thursday, we'll get a sense from the Secretary of State and from the individual counties how many mail ballots they think they have left to count. And larger counties, namely Los Angeles and others, they will drop additional counts every few days, and it could go all the way to Thanksgiving. December 5 is the deadline.
What are you seeing in turnout trends? I know back during the pandemic, everybody got a mail-in ballot. That's still the case today. Is it still true that early voting outpaced what we're seeing this year back in 2020?
There's been a lot of changes in how Californians vote and how many Californians are eligible and registered to vote. In 2018, we had a motor voter at the DMV. We've added so many voters in the last few years. 4 million more voters have been added to the roll since 2018. And as you mentioned, beginning with COVID in 2020, everyone got a ballot in the mail to try and ease the voting participation process. All of those have contributed to changing voting patterns. And they're a little bit different than what we had expected before, and even in the last few years, the national political narrative have kind of changed how different groups of voters vote prior to and on election day. Again, the last few years, we've seen 75–80% turnout in the presidential election. If we have that many, that'll be almost 18 million votes cast, a significant jump from several years ago.
There are 6 California House races up for grabs. Do those races benefit from the fact that it's a presidential election year? And how closely are we watching those 6? Because they could determine control of Congress.
We absolutely could, and there are a few areas of California I think are really worth watching. One is the kind of Palm Springs area, Coachella Valley. You've got a nationally targeted congressional race out there. Ken Calvert, the incumbent Republican Congress members, being challenged by Will Rollins. Very well organized campaign, very bloody if you watch the campaign ads. But there are also nested competitive Senate and Assembly races out there, and so that's an area that's just seen a tremendous amount of organizing and advertising. I think Orange County is another place to really watch. There are a couple nationally targeted congressional races there, again, with very robust and vibrant, sharp advertising that's been going on. Yeah. And so I think that those are a couple areas that are going to be not only, see a lot of action today in California, but are going to tell a lot about what's going to happen nationally for control of the House.
All right, Robb Korinke, I wish you a peaceful, if not fun, election night. I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for your help.
Thanks for having me.